Hey guys, in this episode, I want to talk to you about giving your fans what they want, and you will be extremely successful.
I spent the last 14 years playing over 1,000 shows, touring 22 different countries, and become a top 40 Billboard charting artist. I fired my record label to go out on my own as an independent artist to market and release my own music, selling thousands of albums and millions of streams. The question I always get is, how did I do it without a label and sell even more music? This podcast is here to show you the way. Join me and follow along as I learn, apply, and share marketing strategies to grow my music business and a loyal fan base.
Hey guys, just going for my walk here after I just ate a toasted coconut and donut and a tea. So I'm going for a guilty walk, but no, I always try and move, but didn't have much what I wanted to eat in the house, and I kind of ate emotionally and went for the donut. Don't judge me, you do the same thing, because sometimes you just want what you want. But that leads me into today's episode, which is really about giving your fans what they want. And I'll tell you, one of the coolest feelings in the world when you're performing live is seeing fans singing your songs. And I'll never forget when we did have a hit on the radio, my song Avalanche, and I did a show in New Mexico. I was on this tour, and we'd never had radio success like this in the U.S. We had it in Japan, a little bit in Canada, but in the U.S. it was incredible to see people singing word for word the songs. It was just amazing. I can't even describe the feeling of that. And, like a whole audience, like there's hundreds of people at this show, I remember, and it was the coolest thing. And then what was really cool even after that was people coming and buying my music after the show, and just like buying CDs, buying merch, and just going crazy. And what's interesting though is when I was in the studio with my buddy Adam, when we were writing the songs for this album called The Chase, we did not think that song Avalanche was going to be the hit. Actually, far from it. We thought, this other song, Fire in the Kitchen, and there's some other songs that we thought were going to be the massive hits, and some of them were also big, but Avalanche was the real big heavy hitter on radio in the U.S. for that. There's another song, Every Time You Run, but it's just funny that, we didn't see it, and sometimes you create stuff because, you're passionate about it. You write stuff that you're passionate about, and you just want to get it out there. And sometimes you have a certain goal in mind, and sometimes you don't. But at the end of the day, you've got to give your fans what they want. And you won't know until you've started to release a lot of songs and promote them and really put some marketing and muscle behind an album and behind a song to find out which one is the winner, and then find out why and create more of that. And maybe I don't know what your genre is, but for me, I always just try and write really catchy hooks and emotional stuff, and obviously have really good production and just good songwriting, period. I always try and work with A+ producers and people that I know I can get a good song and get a good performance out of me. But at the end of the day though, I wouldn't know until I had started releasing songs and getting it out there and seeing which ones work. And it's like, okay, well, obviously got to do more of that because that worked, or that worked with radio, or that worked with TV or film, or just my fans freaking loved that, or it worked for the live show. And it was interesting just to know this stuff. You got to give what your fans want. Now, because when you don't, guess what happens? They don't respond to the shows. They don't respond. Radio doesn't respond, and people don't respond by buying it and streaming it, and you don't get the response you want. And that is really frustrating. Okay, that's the opposite of what you want. And I'll say the same thing when it comes to your merchandise as well. It's not about the designs you like. It's not about what you want, what you think is cool. It's what they buy. What do your fans want to buy that they like? Okay, and that might be just a lyric from your song. That might be, your name, your brand. I don't know what it is, but for me, man, I can't tell you how I spent hundreds of dollars on this one shirt design, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Had this skull on it with these wings. It was all illustrated because this guy that that does a lot of designs for Zero skateboards and some big skateboarding brands, I had him illustrate it for me, and I thought it was the sickest thing in the world. And it did terrible. I think we did stickers as well. I can't remember. It's not that it didn't sell at all, but it didn't do nearly as well And I think because my audience at the time and where I was touring was more Christian, and I think I might have even offended more people than I did get sales. And I'll tell you what the feeling of that is when you're doing a bunch of shows and people aren't buying the merch, and it's just sitting there, and you're stuck with a whole bunch of inventory, okay? And that's because I'm not giving my fans what they want. All right. Now I teach you all kinds of strategies about that inside of Fanbase University, about creating stuff and building things that your fans want to buy, so that way it just floats right off the table or off your online merchandise store. And honestly, that's by connecting with your fans, man, knowing what they want, watching what it is, and promoting. All right. A lot of the reasons why a lot of artists are broke is because they don't have anything for sale and they're not promoting, they're not marketing it. And that's a real shame, because the only difference between you making money with your music and not is by you putting offers out there and telling people. Even made me just blow my mind, like certain artists I used to tour with back in the day, like just did not even want to tell people in between songs, like, hey, we got a merchandise table, or we got this package where you can get 2 shirts. You can get 1 shirt for 15 or 2 for 25, or, do some kind of like deal. Like they just didn't have the gonads, the balls, to tell them about it. You know what I mean? It's like they're nervous. They were being sleazy. It's like, dude, they're at your show. They're watching you sing and perform. All right? Tell them about the stuff you got. And this is what we don't even do online. We're too scared. We're going to offend somebody or something like that. It's like, dude, just tell people what they want. They don't have to buy it. And guess what? It's okay if they don't. Sell to just the people that do love your stuff. Don't focus on people that don't like your stuff. Stop worrying about offending people. Just be you. Obviously, you don't want to be rude. You don't want to be ignorant or be a jerk, but know your fan base, create what they want when it comes to music, when it comes to merch, when it comes to the show, everything, and be you. All right? Hope to see you on the next Fanbase University call. Go to fanbaseuniversity.com. We'll send you 2 books and a fighter ring as your welcome package. Plus, you'll get thousands of dollars worth of training courses at your fingertips, and coaching with me on the 12th and 24th of every single month. All right. Have an awesome day. Never give up. So if you're a struggling artist and you're just trying to figure out this music industry, you want to go full time with your music, you want to get noticed on social media, or learn how to launch an album, an EP, or just get your music more marketed out there, I want to encourage you to check out my coaching program called Fanbase University. Every single month, I jump on the phone 2 times with my students and I coach them and I teach them how to market their music, how to get noticed, how to handle booking agents, record labels, and just get their music out there. Also, you get access to exclusive training, you get interviews with music industry professionals. If you want to find out more and not do this on your own, not struggle, because I've wasted thousands of dollars on my career and now I want to coach other artists, check out my program, fanbaseuniversity.com, or click the link below to find out more info.